How to build your credit. First, I'm going to establish some credibility, tell you a little bit about myself. I am 23 years old. I have a 729 credit score, and I have been able to finance and lease my own cars without any co-signers. And I have been able to access higher credit card limits in all my credit cards. I have built my credit and have built credit for loved ones like close friends and family. And I also have a bachelor's in business, and I have knowledge in finance, Microsoft Excel, and credit. Some few basics about credit cards. Credit cards in the U.S. are based on a scale of 300 and 850 points. I'm talking about your credit score. 300, anywhere close to 300 is considered bad credit. Anywhere close to 850 is considered excellent credit. You build excellent credit by becoming a non-risky borrower, which means you pay off your credit cards, you pay off your loans, you pay off your mortgages, and you become a bad or a risky borrower when you miss payments, when you make late payments, when you make minimum payments, and you default on loans. I would suggest when you first go and get your credit card, your first credit card, before you even do that, make a list of stuff that you're going to buy. Now, don't make a list of stuff that you just want or that you think you need. Make a list of stuff that you're actually going to buy and use. Therefore, when you get your credit card, you can go ahead and spend quickly. And trust me, you're going to spend it. Spending is going to be very easy when you get a credit card because it's going to feel like it's not your money. But you can't think that way because if you do think that way, you will go in debt. And a good rule of thumb is never spend what you don't have. So if you don't have $1,000 in the bank right now that you can use to buy something, don't go ahead and spend $1,000 on your credit card because then you won't be able to pay it off. Always spend what you already have. Now, your first credit card is usually going to be a secured credit card, meaning you're going to have to put money up front and the bank is going to use that money as a limit to your card, and that's going to be your credit card limit. So if you put up 500, that's going to be your limit. You do this for a while, eventually the bank is going to offer you a credit card, or you can even go ahead and apply for another credit card. Now that's when you have no credit at all. If you're rebuilding your credit, you can do this too. And if you want to be a little bit riskier and apply for a real credit card, you can do that as well. Just know that if you don't get approved, you're going to get an inquiry on your report, and it might bring your score down, especially if you have no credit, because everybody starts off with a credit score. Just if you keep getting denied for a credit card, it's going to hurt your score a lot more. So don't go ahead and try to apply for all these different type of credit cards because you're going to keep getting denied, especially if you have no credit. So be very careful with that. And also a good rule of thumb in my book is always spend 90% of your total available credit. So if you have $500 in limits, spend $450, but pay it off. Pay it off that month. Whenever your statement comes in the mail, it's going to tell you the minimum due and the day that it's due. So never pay the minimum and never pay on the date it's due. Always pay more and always pay a lot earlier than when it's due. I started off with a small $500 limit Capital One Journey card. 4 years later, I have obtained 13 cards and over $80,000 in credit card limits. You earn higher limits by doing what I just told you, spending a lot and paying it off very early. Take advantage of introductory offers and 0% APR for a specific amount of time, and be ready to spend a lot because excellent credit is going to cost you money. You basically have to buy it. Now, once you have higher limits, anywhere from $5,000 and up, because you will if you do this method, you have to be very careful with spending because spending is not going to be as easy. I mean, it's going to be easy to go ahead and spend a lot of money, but if you're talking about $5,000 and up, you're going to have to buy stuff you don't need, basically, because nobody really spends that much money unless they just go ahead to the store every day and spends on anything. So be very careful with that. Use it responsibly, and like I said, never pay the minimum. Always make big payments. Now what you see here is an Excel sheet that I created for myself. It's a list of all my different credit cards, all the names, where they're from, when they were issued, the limits, the payment due date, the minimum payment, and the balance. When I update this sheet, everything gets calculated automatically because I have the formulas in the spreadsheet already. So anytime I change a few numbers, everything gets automatically calculated. So it's very cool. Now I can make a whole video on how to make this spreadsheet, but for now, let's just look at some numbers. So on the bottom, the blue, what's highlighted in blue is my total available credit. The number on the bottom of that is my available credit minus my current balance. So then I know where I stand from there. Now on the bottom, it tells me how long it would take me per week to pay off that balance. So it would take me about 45 weeks to pay off my 34, 32, 68 balance. It would take me about a year if I paid $312 per month. And all the way to the left, my total utilization is 4.14%. Usually a good rule of thumb is always use or always have less than 10% of your utilization used. What that means is my balance is only 4.14% of $82,900, which is very good.